Rhino poaching syndicates have continued to tighten their grip on South Africa's rhino population, with close to 1,000 rhinos lost since the start of 2010. As with other game reserves, the Pilanesberg National Park has not emerged unscathed, with an aging communications infrastructure seemingly hampering its anti-poaching operations. Altec Alcom radio distributors recently donated an advanced communications technology system to Pilanesberg in an attempt to alleviate some of the communication concerns. Let's take a look. For the past 2.5 years, news headlines have been dominated by stories of rhino poaching in and around South Africa's national parks and game reserves. Since 2010, there's been a serious and drastic increase in the number of rhinos senselessly slaughtered for their horns. 333 rhinos were lost in 2010, with the number reaching 448 in 2011. During this time, both government, business and civil society have raised their concerns with various initiatives set up to address the relentless onslaught of rhino poachers. Despite renewed efforts to combat the South African poaching pandemic, including assistance from the military, cross-border patrols and even specially trained sniffer dogs, 135 rhinos were poached within the first 3 months of 2012. And it seems that it has a lot to do with communication. A strong and reliable communication network is needed to cover vast territories such as the Pilanesberg National Park. This 55,000-hectare park has lost a total of 21 rhinos to illegal poaching since 2010.
We have been affected, but not as much as Kruger. But in Pilanesberg and any of the Northwest Parks reserves, when you lose a rhino, is one too many. We have lost so far, like we said, 7 black rhino and 14 white rhino. And to that we have tried our best to engage and make sure that we equip staff and with camping equipment, with whatever they need to do their jobs in the reserve, so that we have a measure of counting this poaching pandemic in the reserves.
Despite a well-developed anti-poaching system in place, the park still had to deal with an unreliable and outdated analog communication system.
We've got currently an analog technology which is old. And luckily today we've just received a sponsorship from the companies involved of a donation of just over 300,000 of digital equipment, which is going to help us a lot in making sure that our communication is of the best that one can get currently.
Thanks to a partnership between Altec Alcom Radio together with its channel partner Laser Communications, the park has been gifted with a top-of-the-range digital communication system.
Altec prides itself on creating a sustainable future, and sustainability is essentially at the cornerstone of all of our initiatives, be it commercial or otherwise. And you know, the bottom line is, what are we going to say when the next generation asks us what we did to stop this thing? And therefore, for us, it's a major issue.
The system comprises of 18 Motorola Motor Turbo digital two-way radios, 2 dispatcher units and a repeater. The donation also includes installation and maintenance of the system. The digital radios boast a range of advanced features.
That on the older technology, we could not incorporate various programs like GSM or SMS rather. SMS meaning we've seen now with the rhino, anti-rhino poaching unit, we do not want to talk to these guys and they talk back to us, and everybody around them hears exactly what's going on, especially where they're in observation posts, etc. We can SMS, we can communicate with each other even without talking a single word. And I think one of the major differences in the older technology to this new technology is the embedding of GPS modules in the radio. Whilst we can communicate with this instrument, we can also track the instrument through the GPS. So we can locate people, we can locate vehicles, and hopefully also can locate animals one day with the same technology on the GPS.
It also has well-developed security features which prohibit potential poaching syndicates from listening in to conversations between members of the park's anti-poaching unit.
The algorithm that we are using is so secure on this radio that to break it, you will have to be better than FBI technology in America, and this is really where it stems from. The radio is manufactured in such a way, the technology, that we can have a one-on-one call, with other words, absolutely privacy. We can have a group call, in other words, anti-poaching unit listening to the controller, all the guys in the anti-poaching unit. And then in case of an emergency, we can have an all-call system, where once the control room talks, then every radio that is programmed up to the complete system or the total system will be able to hear.
The technology partners are confident that this initiative will act as a pilot project that will eventually be rolled out to other parks and reserves across the country.
We are very confident that this project will continue to grow. In fact, there are already conversations about extending the coverage beyond Pilanesberg into surrounding areas. But most importantly, we think that with the technology that they have, given that it's at the beginning of its life cycle, it will carry these guys forward for a long, long time. Obviously, we will keep a very close eye on this thing to see where it's going, and intervene when we think that things need to change or improve, and provide whatever other assistance that we need to make sure that this thing is sustainable, and that these guys win their fight against the rhino poaching.
Future plans also include tracking technology that could be implanted directly into the rhino or rhino horns, though more research and development is needed to ensure that it would be safe for the animals.
My team and I are busy trying to figure out how we have the technology. Okay, we know how to put it into the rhino. The question is the implementation of it, because the rhinos don't stand still and wait for you to come and do this. It therefore means that there has to be a darting process, and that comes with its own risk. There was a report a couple of weeks ago about a rhino that was unsuccessfully darted and unfortunately passed away. And so one needs to be very cautious about, the extent to which you go. But yes, we definitely have a technology that can be fitted into the rhino itself. Ideally, obviously, into the horn, which seems to be, unfortunately, the thing that has encouraged the poachers to get more active, more organized. And we have a solution that's ready to go. The difficult challenge, as I said, is trying to figure out how to actually implement this. Given the costs and the risks, one needs to take a view that either it's premature or it's a risk that one needs to take. But that's not a simple decision for anyone to make, I think.
With South Africa regarded as the final bastion of the white rhino and home to a significant population of black rhino, technological advancements like these are a welcome weapon in the fight against rhino poaching.